Oh, good evening, everybody. I have a loud voice, New Englander. We're very loud. So I'm from the Boston suburbs, okay, Quincy, Massachusetts. I've been here 30 years, 30 plus years, bringing cool technology to the Chinese and Asian world. I'm a bilingual Mandarin speaking Caucasian dude. Tonight, I'm going to talk to you about who I am, my entity, Newport Technologies, and the pain points that I am trying to solve for my state, for every software programmer here, regarding the future for AI, because I'm going to be very straightforward. So what are we talking about? We're talking about AI, artificial intelligence. What is important? The algorithms. The algorithms are very, very important. The data is also very important, as well as computational power. I'm going to talk about all these things. Who am I? Karl Weaver. My Chinese name is Wei Karl. I'm a bilingual Mandarin-speaking American, as I said. I've been doing this for the state, for the country. It's very important. Let me move forward. Let's see. Bingo. So when I brought contactless mobile NFC and TE technology to Beijing, China, 2008 to 2013, they started calling me the Asian mobile industry rainmaker. I said, oh, it sounds cool. Seattle rains a lot. And so I started to do public speaking in China because China's blocked. They have the Great Firewall of China. How do you do public speaking in China? And how do you get your information to people that need to understand it in order to buy it? I overcame the Great Firewall of China by delivering my public speaking in Mandarin Chinese, uploading it to Chinese video streaming websites, hence reaching C-level executives and engineering people. Should have been a Harvard Business Review case, quite honestly, because we are failing as a country selling to China. We have a chip war and we have a trade war. It's a fact. Why? Because we're leveraged as a country. We've outsourced our semiconductor manufacturing. We've outsourced all of our hardware, all of our ICT technology. I'm telling you, that's going to change very, very soon because of all the sensitive intelligence that I'm in possession of. So basically, what do I do? I'm a Mandarin-speaking mobile industry specialist. I started my career in Taiwan in 1982, started learning Mandarin Chinese under scholarship from the Taiwanese Ministry of Education, finished that in 85, and then I jumped into the fledgling microcomputer manufacturing industry, the youngest American in Taiwan. I was 26, I think, when I started my career in the microcomputer motherboard manufacturing industry. Rode that up, came here in 1992, late 92. In 93, reinvented myself with a company called Zetron over there in Redmond, land mobile radio communications, not digital cellular. I worked for them for a number of years. What do I do, though? I bring my cultural knowledge of how to sell into the Far East. I've lived in Taiwan 10 years. I've lived in Beijing, China, bringing important technology. I lived in Taiwan 10 years, lived in Beijing 5 years, and 2 years most recently I spent in Singapore integrating the Internet of Things with blockchain technology for renewable energy resources, something called renewable energy certificates. Really important if you're involved in data center business because data centers are the largest emitters of CO2 emissions on the planet. All right, so that's who I am, that's what I do, that's why they call me the Rainmaker. Let me move forward. Now, what is my value? What is the value that I can bring to any company that's involved in AI or that's involved in selling technology? Strategic growth enabler, go-to-market expansion expert. If you have a product you want to sell to the market, I'm the guy to talk to. Revenue accelerator, industry insider. I've been doing this, guys, ladies and gentlemen, for about, get it, Earthlink. Remember that? Migrated it over to WordPress around 2017, and I updated it around last year. Okay. So if you want to know, do I really do what I say I do? I've got more than 300 videos on YouTube. Half of them are in Mandarin Chinese, half of them are in English. So what have I done for contributions? Well, I was the first public speaker in this country on smartphones. Microsoft's campus, 2003. And then in 2004 in London, talking about the global smartphone revolution, China, the mobile digital dragon, because I knew that China and Taiwan was going to be making all this technology. So I brought mobile payments, contactless mobile NFC technology, the TE, that's embedded software security. eSIM, iSIM, I was the first public speaker for this company, which is very important. And also I brought this blockchain of AI things to Singapore, in fact. So I've got the background for this stuff. Co-found and helped to build the first Web3 DePIN, which stands for Decentralized Physical Infrastructure Networks. There are about 100 of them around the world. That's basically a Web3 DePIN project. It's called ARCRIN, which means the green arc. So green energy data infrastructure, that's me. Maybe I've lost weight or I've gained weight, I'm not sure. But these are some of the things, again, that I've been responsible for doing for the past 20 plus years. I also did something very, very important. I learned how to harness the power of Eastern and Western social media to evangelize and promote cutting-edge technology, because in Asia, you influence through video content. I think in America too, but Gen X people mostly. Yeah, so let me continue. All right, nobody's falling asleep. This is great. Now, let's talk about the AI chip supply chain. This is kind of important. The AI chip supply chain. Asia-Pacific region is pivotal. Why is it pivotal? Well, think about this. Taiwan manufactures 90% of all the AI semiconductor chips in the world, 60% of all the semiconductor chips, but the AI chips, it's about 90+%. But wait a minute. The data center servers, cloud data center servers, are what you use for your large language models and your inference, right? Well, that's all made in China. But we have another component here, the AI algorithms and the tools. Those are coming from Silicon Valley with FANG corporations, but it's 50% from designers from North and Southeast Asia. That's the Chinese and the Indians, basically. AI is an Asian technology. It's not an American technology. Who the hell ever said it was? It's an Asian technology. But the great thing is we can harness the power of intelligence and brain power in this country because we give them good salaries. Semiconductor manufacturers, America has 5,000 cloud and data centers. China has about 450, and there are other countries around the world that do the same. They manufacture the data centers, but there's a problem with water and power. I'll talk about that in a minute. Now, the United States is leading because we bring in all the brain power. And the data centers, see that, United States, we are number one. Let me move forward. This is all going to make sense. Value proposition for the AI chip supply chain. Do you know if you have an AI algorithm or a piece of software, you need to protect it, embed it into semiconductor chips. Otherwise, it will be stolen. It will be stolen. It can be stolen from a server. It can be stolen from many, many sources. Do you want to spend all your energy and money designing an AI algorithm and then for it to be stolen? No, that means you need to deal with TSMC. In Chinese, we say Taiji Dian. This is, as I mentioned, 90% of all the AI chips in the world. So, but do you just knock on the door in Hsinchu, Taiwan, where they're manufacturing all this stuff? No. You can't, because they have a supply chain and they have an order process for 5 years. So if you went to Taiwan and said, hey, I have an AI algorithm, I want to embed it into some chip like NVIDIA's chip or maybe Samsung's chip, well, maybe not Samsung, because Samsung is actually competing with TSMC. You know, they've got 5 years out. You have to wait 5 years. So you're not going to be successful doing that. But I have all the contacts and the leads to do all that because I've been doing this for a long time. In fact, I met the founder of TSMC in 1985 when I was just starting my career in the computer industry. All right. So what you see here is that this is an Asian technology, but if you don't have the language skills, if you don't have the years of experience dealing with the region, how are you going to get your AI algorithms sold? I mean, how many people in this state are developing AI algorithms and something involving an AI tool? I'd say lots of people, but I think they're missing the bird's eye view, which is if you're not dealing with the Chinese world, that's either Taiwan or China or the Chinese elements in Silicon Valley, how successful do you expect to be with your AI product? It seems to me that you need my expertise. That's where I come into the picture. I'm a bilingual Mandarin speaker. I spent 10 years, as I said, Taiwan, 5 years at Beijing, and I just spent 2 glorious years working in Singapore, which we can talk about a little later on. But basically, data, it's not just the new oil, it's actually the new gold. Because, as you know, the data brokers all over the world try to steal your data. So it's important, if they're going to try to steal your data, they're going to certainly try to steal your AI algorithm. And that's going on everywhere in the world. And I can help solve that or stop that because I've been involved in many IP infringement cases trying to stop those in the Chinese world, many. Generative AI is very, very important. So I call it the generative AI smartphone revolution because you need generative AI in order to provide the audio, video, and all kinds of solutions for your tokens to create interesting models when you're using AI, right? You've got, but look at the semiconductor ecosystem for AI. It's really quite complex. As you know, you get the chatbots and ChatGPT, of course, but these are the companies that actually manufacture smartphones with an AI algorithm. We got a problem though with Apple because the Chinese government said to Apple, I'm sorry, you can't use your AI algorithm on your smartphones inside China. Hello, Houston, we got a problem. You got a problem. I think they're probably going to work with Alibaba, but you can see how leveraged Apple is. Now, I'm talking to a guy who wrote a cool book you want to hear about. It's called Apple in China. Patrick McGee just wrote this book. It's top 10 on the New York Times book review. Really a great book to read. If you're involved in AI, you want to read this book. There's another book called Chip Wars by Chris Miller. These two books and these two authors I'm trying to partner with to do public speaking. So that's basically explaining why the AI smartphone revolution is coming. Well, first of all, you need inference to have AI. Let me move forward very quick. But okay, before we get to inference, I say that DeepSeek it's actually a Sputnik moment. Is it a Sputnik moment or an AI art of war? I say it's both. I say it's both because they really did deliver interesting technology, but they basically used machine learning tools in order to do that. Anybody could have done that, but they did it. They did it. Basically, they made a low-cost model that really confused Wall Street and Silicon Valley, but they're all going to adopt it as well. So, you know, best form of flattery is plagiarism because now you want to use somebody else's knowledge to do something else. Let me move forward. So AI occurs in two places, in the cloud data center server and at the edge. At the edge, it means inference on the smartphone. Apple has their I think it's the A18 chips, but it also occurs in cellular IoT modules in things like Tesla vehicles, right? So you have AI at the edge in the smartphone, also in some of these intelligent smart devices. I worked on such a project in Singapore. So what I'm here to say is, you know, everybody's so focused on the large language model. Come on, they're just scraping the internet. It's the inference that's the most important because the inference generates, through the generative AI, the result. So there are a few companies, of course, NVIDIA is doing this. Let's create the next opportunity for growth through Newport Technologies, which is my public speaking entity. 美国新港科技, Newport Technologies, this is me when I was in Singapore. That's my QR code if you want to pull up for people that want to listen to me. But I've got the background, I've got the years of experience doing all this, and I'm not shy. I'm certainly not shy. So that's my presentation. Does anybody have any questions? I know it's kind of like years doing very, very important things, but mostly under the radar because what I do is pretty unique. So does anybody have questions? Because I'll answer almost everything.
I know right now companies like TSMC and those manufacturers based out of like Taiwan are like the major players when it comes to like chip manufacturing and like those the things you need to build complicated AI systems. Do you think that's something that is going to remain a constant, or is there going to be growth coming to the United States?
Dude, good question. I just gave a presentation 2 weeks ago how the Apple how the Apple iPhone is going to migrate back to the United States in either Arizona or Texas or both along the border with Maquidadora. I'm sorry, my Spanish is not good, my Mandarin is fluent. What is actually going to happen is Apple has to reshore. The illusion is that they're going into India right now. By the way, I gave a presentation, Seattle University, 10 years ago, that this was going to happen. I made the mistake. It's only an illusion that they're manufacturing a huge amount in India. They're not. It's still being manufactured in China because India is not ready, number one. Number two, India has huge problems with tariffs. Vietnam is better than that, but India has huge problems with tariffs. So what's going to happen is Apple's going to reshore Micron, by the way, when you make an AI chip, your GPU is important, your RAM is important, of course, your CPU or your mobile processor, all of these things are very, very important. So what's happening is that they're going to reshore. It is happening, and I've been observing it and watching it. So the answer is yes, they're reshoring, and it's being done to continue to give, let's say, encouragement to the Indians, okay? The only way India will gain its prominence in semiconductor business is working with Taiwan. That's the only way. But it's happening. But it's going to take another 10, 15 years for India to be at the prowess of China, especially for the manufacturing and, of course, the semiconductor business. But Indians are very, very good with the software. And they've, companies like Tata, they have lots of companies in India that are becoming global leaders. So it's not that India can't do it. I think it's a time issue. So hopefully I answered that question.
Yeah, no, you brought it in. I didn't know India was poised to be the next one, but it was more geared towards what's the future for the United States when it comes to chip.
The future is good. The future is good. I say continue to learn machine learning for AI, because every single smartphone will have AI. Every data center will have AI. AI will be used for all of these things. And so, but the future I think is very, very positive. There are too many people who are too negative, and there's too much propaganda on social media, too much of it. And it's very easy for somebody who's never been to Asia to get, propagandized by all of this stuff. I say, if you got a signal to noise ratio, weed out the noise from the signal. And that's what I do in my public speaking, and that's what I've done in all of my research. And I'm the guy who sells the technology, so I have to know what I'm talking about. So this is not a sales pitch to you. This is because I'm an American. I want to help my country. I will never demonize China. I will never demonize India. I don't believe in hype, hysteria, or geopolitical, bringing up geopolitical issues, because it certainly doesn't help my career. So
yeah, we all yell at each other on TV like we put space stations together, right?
I have 300 videos. If you see me hollering, you can point it out. But no, I'm always encouraging people to develop things.
Oh no, I just mean like media. It conveys to everybody that everything is screwed up all the time, but in the background, world governments are still working together consistently.
China is a fantastic place in terms of their technology development. India is growing rapidly, also tremendous things going on in both of these countries. But I think the real issue here is America outsourced way too much, and now we have major issues with our labor force. And so,
I mean, I think we're still winning on the Micron discrepancy, right? Like it's 3 to 6.
no,
right?
actually, Micron lost this whole thing. Okay, Micron lost this
No,
ball
I'm
game.
saying production. On the semiconductor actual production size, 3 microns.
Oh, okay, yeah.
I'm
It's three, but not in Phoenix yet. It's 4 in Phoenix, but it will be 3 eventually in Phoenix. I think it's 4 right now, but they're building 4 more buildings. They've got a fab there. It's been up since January. I think they've got 4 more buildings they're going to build. We're talking about $100 billion. And by the way, I was involved 8 years ago in trying to bring that to Everett, Washington, but this state dropped the ball.
Yeah, that's when they were doing the expansion into Oregon, and they closed that one too.
However, TSMC actually has a packaging facility in Camas, Washington right now, but it has not been so successful. It has not been very successful. But I'm very positive about all of this stuff because, listen, I've listened to lots of political people here in Washington State saying we can't do this, we can't do that. But I do know the smart companies are looking at putting offices in Phoenix. Apple, Google, Microsoft, Amazon. They have to because they want to be close to where the chips are being made. And the only way these American hyperscalers can survive is by embedding the technology in the chips and controlling the security of the chips. Does that make any sense?
I'm unfamiliar with the technology of embedding a model within a chip, but could you give us kind of a general overhead on how that works?
Yeah. So you port the algorithm, in this case an AI algorithm, you port it into either a mobile apps processor chip for a smartphone or a cellular IoT module for, in the case of a smart data logging type device. You port the software into the physical hardware. Now, I also work for ARM bringing this cool technology. There's a security vault in all of these chips that you can port all of your software into and have it protected. High level of encryption so that you can process all of this information. For example, if you were trying to use your AI large language model, it's all going to be, has to be embedded into the mobile processor. In this case, like if we look at NVIDIA actually doesn't manufacture. They design the GPU, and then they work with TSMC and other companies to actually make their, let's say, H100, which is the most powerful chip, and they're working on Blackwell as well, solutions. So, but you have to embed it all and secure it in firewalls inside of the chip. That's how it works. If you're not doing that, what are we talking about here? Listen, there's no security online. There's zero security online, and there's hackers all over the world who are salivating to steal your stuff. I'm sorry, that's a very simple explanation. I apologize, because I'm not a software engineer.
Oh, makes sense.
I'm sorry, I didn't mean to be so straightforward, but I felt it was important to tell the truth. I think it's important to tell the truth without propaganda and without hype. Again, I'm here essentially just to give this information. I hope it has been valuable to everybody. Has it been valuable?
Yeah.
Okay. Well, I feel happy that you listened to my presentation.
One more question. It seems like a lot of AI applications now are like cloud-based or run locally just on your computer. Do you think that poses a significant security threat if you do have like a machine learning algorithm that is of high like value?
Yeah. So if you don't embed it, so again, as I said, AI rests in two places. It's in the data center server, but the server equipment is all made in China. So you got a dichotomy there, right? But in general, a lot of Taiwanese, what we call ODMs, they design it and they have it assembled in China. So they have control of at least somehow control of the security made in China. But you have it occurring in the data center server or down at the edge in the chip for IoT devices or in the smartphone, the mobile apps processor chip. That's where it can also occur, and that allows for the inference to occur with GenAI. It gives you the inference. The large language models create the inference. The inference gives you the result, which is the video, the audio, and they use, of course, tokens to do that. So
Yeah, no.
Because
That answered it.
yeah, it's embedded solutions. We call this embedded solutions.
So I think going through the whole presentation,